Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing fantastic. Today, I'm thankful to Bert-Ola for allowing me to eat my head, allowing to eat my head. So, to understand this new school we're trying to make, which is focused towards the earning part and in the new economy, and not necessarily just the learning part, even though you cannot earn without learning. The more you learn, the more you earn. So, thank you, Bertola, for taking out the time. It's over to you.
It's great to be here again. We had a great conversation today, and then we decided to make a bit of an update on what you're up to. And of course, a lot of stuff has happened here since Chat GPT was announced a few months back. So maybe you can start with introduce a little bit your work to the audience in a few minutes there, and then we get into some questions.
Okay, so uh, I come from Pakistan and I have interest to eradicate extreme poverty from my country. And I have been trying for 13 years to try different things. And I tried to create a million entrepreneurs. I failed. I tried to then go back on the drawing board and I traveled the world and I saw Singularity University. And when I saw Singularity University in California, I thought, this is a great idea. We should have something like this for children. And then I come from a business family. In our family, children go to like internship to their own businesses of their parents and their family. So when I was 5, I was going for 2 months. Then I was 8. Every summer I would go. And then when I was 10 years old, I was sent to my uncle's shop for 2 months to work from morning till the evening. Then, when my children were growing up, I wanted to do the same for them. I did the same for them. I also did not send my children to regular school. And I wanted a special school which would help them be disciplined and also learn the school of hard knocks. So, around 1.5 year ago, we bought a school in Karachi, and I ended up having it in a poor area of Karachi. I did not plan that, but it just happened. It was fitting my budget, so I bought the school over there. And the people who come to study there, their parents are earning less than $100 a month. And 13 years ago, I was trying to create entrepreneurs. So I thought, can I teach these kids to earn money without money? So while I was trying to create a different kind of school for the last 18 months, even though last year we announced that we will also include earning in the school, at least $500 a month for a child. And once we help the student earn $500, which is 5 times the money their parents make, we want to charge $100 fees. Right now, we charge $2 or $3 a month as fees, which is nothing to run the school system. So we now have focused totally dedicatedly towards the earning part. And now, since ChatGPT came 6 months ago, we are we find that the whole learning system has to be reinvented altogether. It's like Google is here and a smartphone is here, and it would be naive not to take advantage of ChatGPT to teach because it's the best teacher in the world. So we gave every student a laptop. We had Wi-Fi in the whole school, and we got every child to buy a phone, their parents to buy a phone for them, and that made big problems for me because the teachers which were in the school and the principal did not like the idea of children having a smartphone in the school. Even though it's post COVID, they think that ch- children should not have a smartphone or computer access because they wanted to teach what they have learned themselves in the school. So, after 18 months of trying, I finally have some new teachers who are agreed to teach my methodology to the children, which is to make them first digitally literate, get them to understand social media, get them to learn artificial intelligence, start making videos. And now, since we have AI, we are we are we had a big problem of English language. So now we have AI, so the kids can actually learn with the help of AI and create content with the help of AI and imagine things better way with the help of ChatGPT. And I'm very hopeful that we will be able to reach our goal of helping them earn $500 a month. Now, the reason I'm excited about this is that because there are 50 million children in Pakistan who don't go to school. And the reason they don't go to school is that their parents are poor. And even though the schools are free, the quality of education is not good. So they prefer their children to work, and they cannot send them to private schools. So if I am able to crack and create this new method, what will happen is that it will disrupt the entire education system in the country, because now these children become money making machines for their parents, for themselves, and for the school. And not just that they are able to earn, they're actually becoming global citizens because we connect them to the people. We, as you know, following your philosophy, connect, collaborate, communicate. We teach them this, and they become a phenomenal citizen. We also have them select over 130 topics that they need to solve. One of the topics, they become a wala of that topic, which it could be energy, it could be solar, it could be forest, it could be climate change, it could be trash, recycling, whatever, one of the sustainable development goals and their subcategories. And then they have to watch one TEDx video every single day and make a video of that video, explaining that video in Urdu and in English. Then tag the original person who actually spoke that video, so that the person who actually spoke can see, huh, who is this child? What is he doing? And then they start talking to each other. And then we encourage them to actually interview that particular person, uh, wherever that person is. So far we have just been able to get them to use the computer properly. We're and then energy problems and internet problems and all the logistical problems are something which we have been dealing with so far. The real work has not even started yet, so it's just, I think in the journey we are only 10-15% forward, and that's where we have reached so far. The excitement part is that this might be able to disrupt the whole education system, because these children are being educated, they are totally unuseful to the society, to their parents, to themselves, because we have MBAs, we have educated people who are driving a taxi or whatever. They're not able to produce their best, but with our model, they're taught to learn through the internet. Taught to learn and find solutions through the AI. And our teachers, we don't call them teachers, we call them facilitators. So they're just facilitating the child to grow and become whatever they want to become. We have 3 studios, video studios in the school. We have a music studio, we have a maker space, um, we have a startup room. But right now our focus is just on how can these kids find themselves and start earning through, as you said, creator economy.
That's great. That's a long story. So I've been following you since I think we met online first time around 2011. So it has been 11, 12 years now, something. And we met a few times as well on the road, even though most of the time is here online. So I've been following your methodology. So it's not just as I see it that it came 18 months back. It's something you have developed over a long time and iterated and prototyped there. So for people who don't know, what's your philosophy of learning? I can add a little bit from what I see, but I see three core components in your school that you are teaching, or that you're encouraging the students to learn. So a little bit about your philosophy there, and why is education the bigger vision you have there? I think you didn't go into that. So why education, and why getting these kids to earn money? What's the why are you doing this?
I think, um, I mean, how do nations progress? There's a saying: if you want to work for the next 10 years, plant a tree. If you want to work for the next 100 years, educate a child. So I grew up never going to college. I never went to university. I just learned on my own. And there is a way where, I made money online. I learned when the internet was coming. I failed multiple times explaining to my when I was giving an exam of Bachelor's of Communication, Bachelor's of Commerce at my college, which I was giving exam privately. They were teaching from 1947 how to make a photocopy using a cloth, and weird stuff, not even cyclostyle, even before that. And I was totally baffled by, I was at that time having an internet company. I used to sell email and internet service, and there was nothing about that in the book. So I was baffled with what's happening. Why am I supposed to learn about this thing from 1947 and nothing about the present is here? So when my children were growing up, I saw that the school, as Ken Robinson says, I bumped into Ken Robinson and Sugata Mitra and all these people. And, when I saw Hole in the Wall project, I tried to recreate it in Pakistan. I created a school on the phone in 2012. It was a school in a box where before there was high-speed internet, before there was smartphone. Um, and I won multiple awards on it, but it was just too early and it didn't fly. But my whole idea was that education should be fun, not so boring, and people should enjoy learning. I mean, Bert-Ola, I've seen you for 12 years learning every single day. All the time you're awake, you're constantly learning and doing something with the stuff which you have learned. And the students, I thought, they're 12, between 10 and 18. You don't have to work, you don't have to have a job, you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to worry about food. I wanted to take this 8 years and make it into something amazing. And if I could convert a boy or a girl for the next 8 years on a mission, they can really solve any problem because they don't have to worry about a girlfriend or food or house. They're just focused on doing something. And that was my original concept of the school. This is why this is school, and I have been teaching the same philosophy and the same process through Facebook, through physical education, to some of the students which come to me. But I wanted to organize this into a system of a school where, students are stuck. They have to come to the school and they don't question, they just study. So why not create a school like this which actually wants to solve the world problems? Why wait for this college? Why wait for university? And then when I ended up with a school which was in a very poor area of the country, and I, coming from a background who could teach people how to earn money, I thought this is a win-win situation. If I could crack this code, if I could find a way where these students can make money, it will be a phenomena for the whole third world country or the underdeveloped country, because now the school makes a lot of money, the teacher makes a lot of money, the parent makes a lot of money, and the student end up learning best of the technologies of the world. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Yes, but in addition to that, I think it's several amazing things you do in the school. So from my perspective, you have, I would say, three core elements that you build. You can say the skills. What do you try to learn? What is the education about? You can maybe say a little bit later about the Rehan 500, the Mutual 500 project, one of the first things you did when I met you. But I think one of the core elements is to learn to connect. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that is to get an understanding and start to connect to the world, something beyond yourself. And my field has been communities and network or social capital over the years. So I can see that very clear in your school. So this is a way to get ideas and input and start to see and understand culture and to see the world outside yourself, your own small bubble you are living in. The second component you incentivize and encourage people to do all the time is to interview each other and to listen. So you encourage and cultivate, nudge this element of listening to other people and to communicate. So that would be the second core element of the school beside collaboration and reaching out to other people and connect, where you get the insights. And the third element, which I think is super important, which you also incentivize in the school, is to organize the content or the knowledge. So you do that by, they should make videos, they should learn to do different elements in the school, but also to put up a YouTube channel, different types of channels and social media. So it becomes an ecosystem that you can use. So putting the knowledge into practice, basically. So the learning of connecting, learning of communication and listen, and learning to organize the knowledge. So that's very interesting, I think. And the two other elements also, I think is really super cool, is that you have put this Vala that I didn't really understand what it is, but I realize it now, is that every person in your school should find their passion, what they're really, the inner call. And maybe you can say, tell a little bit what does Vala mean, but as I see it is like finding your passion there and put the name on it. So like solar Vala or popcorn Vala or energy Vala or teaching Vala. It's something you get the call to cultivate. And if you do that of a long time, of course, you will be very good in these topics that you are burning for. And the fifth element, in addition to that, is this shadow ministry of the government. You build also some kind of early ecosystem of future of institutions of a country or a region. So you become, if you go in your school, you become the minister of energy, the shadow minister of energy, or the shadow minister of economics, or the shadow ministry of biology. So it's also very interesting to see, because I think in the long term also it's a way how you can start to nudge institutions to improve themselves by technology. So these are 5 elements in the school: the learn to connect, learn to communicate, learn to organize the content and knowledge, put it into practice, learn to find your passion, which is called Vala, and the 4th, to take responsibility and leverage yourself up to another level through becoming ministry of this shadow government in a fun way. It's a bit of, I would say, it's in the long run it will be serious business, of course, but it's to and I can see the effect because I get inbox all the time from the students and they are very proud of getting this role. So it's also it's a lot of positive things coming out of giving responsibility to the students. So what do you think of my assessment of your school with some first input there? Have I understood it correctly, or do you see it in another way?
Yeah, you spend a lot of time trying to understand me. My children don't spend that much time trying to understand me, which is great, and that is why you understand what I'm doing. There's a lot of small little things which are difficult to explain, and it takes time to understand, takes background to understand. And you yourself are very passionate about social entrepreneurship and system entrepreneurship. So you understand because I'm creating a new system altogether. And if it works, which we hope and we are trying, it will change a lot of things. So if you can ask me one question at a time, I can just answer, one thing. So for example, the communication part, ask me a question and then I will
Yeah,
explain.
if we take this, I think it's a long story, but Rehan 500 was your first, one of your first prototypes in the school, you can say, 10 years back or something. What was the idea of Rehan 500? What did you do at that time? This learn to connect.
So in 2010, I gave myself a mission that I will end world poverty, and I will start by teaching a million entrepreneurs, 100 different businesses, 10,000 times. That makes a million businesses. I tried it for 4 years and I failed. And I tried to understand why did I fail. And at the same time, I was noticing that in my business and the telecom business which I am in, I had people who were working for me, but they started to change. I wanted to understand, why are they changing? Why are they all of a sudden less extremist? Why are they changing their philosophy, of their beliefs? And I wanted to know if it is me or is it my friends. So I thought there is a very old study that if your five friends, close friends, are millionaires, you will be the sixth one. So I wanted to do an social experiment to see if the same thing can work on Facebook. Because as a holder of Pakistani passport, I was having always trouble to travel. I was denied international visas 27 times. And I have a thick skin, that's why I kept applying. Otherwise, people will just give up, right? But I still travel 84 countries. And by traveling, by meeting people like yourself, by living in people's homes like yourself, by living with people like Michael, it changed me fundamentally. It changed my belief system. And I wanted to see if anybody else can also change their own belief system. So I just did a random experiment that, okay, why don't you take my 500 Facebook friends? They should not be from your own country, and I will give you a free laptop. And I gave away 500 plus laptops, and I studied those 500 people who won the laptop, and I saw that they became a different person. Mark Twain says that when you travel the world, you can no longer be uneducated. So I cannot buy everybody a world tour ticket. I wanted them to travel the world. Like in the West, you do backpacking and everything. So I wanted to see how can I impact large amount of people using the internet, using Facebook. So I incentivized making new friends from out of Pakistan. And I wanted to see how their wiring changed. So I always had this question, why do people in the West make more money and why do people in my country, why is my country poor? Why do we, why does a farmer living in Denmark earn 25 times more money than the same farmer doing the exact same thing in Pakistan? And one of the things which I found is the belief system. There's just, they grow different things, they grow less value products, and they don't want to grow high value products because no, they don't know anybody who can guide them. They don't know anybody who has done it, so they don't have a belief that they can do it. So when you make 500 friends from all over the world, you reflect, you see them and they see you, they ask you question as a friend. Eventually you start breaking your own philosophy, your own beliefs. You totally rewire your whole brain system, and you change the whole complete brain system. It's like going and doing a master's degree in something. And even though the people who are doing this don't even realize it, like when we are growing up, we know our mother tongue because we hear it so many times. Nobody teaches us. We just learn it. So if you change your news feed on your Facebook, you're going to be a different human being. You're no longer going to remain the same person in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, in 4 years' time. And now I have dozens of people who have totally changed, got married to global citizens, to different people earning hundreds of thousands of dollars, uh, no longer thinking that they are from this tribe or this tribe. They're living in a very different world, and they do this because they have friends who are different from them, and that's what changes us. When you change your friends, everything starts to change. So I have a very firm belief that I don't even want to talk to anyone anymore, especially from Pakistan, if they don't have 200 common friends with me and they're not Pakistanis, because that means they have a lot of bias in them. They're not going to learn anything from me. Even if I meet them, I can't teach them anything. So it's like plowing the land. Before you plow the land, you can't sow the seed. You can't grow anything in a land which is infertile. So by introducing a human being to 500 humans who are totally different from them, they actually become human being, from Pakistani, from Swedish, from Norwegian, from American. They become a global citizen because they're no longer thinking that Bert-Ola is Swedish. They're thinking, I think Bert-Ola is my brother from another mother. I don't think that you are Swedish. It doesn't even come to me that you are Swedish. First you are my friend, then you are Swedish. But initially you were a Swedish, and then you were maybe somebody I can be friends with. And that takes time. From this journey happens. So that's what the 500 friend experiment was. And one of the boys who did this became partners with Steve Wozniak. I mean, that's not small. I mean, a guy who has never met Steve Wozniak is now partner doing business together with Steve Wozniak, becoming friends with the top. He's the most Hamad is the most connected Pakistani to the most high net worth human beings on the planet. He knows everyone. And he has 150 mutual friends with Mark Zuckerberg. He has friends common with Bill Gates. He has friends common with you name the guy. He has friends common with. He has got it to a science how to make friends with anyone on Facebook. He is just so phenomenally amazing. Um, it's like unbelievable human being. He's like a Superman. uh, I have to request. I was in Singapore. He knew the CEO of Facebook. He knew the CEO of Google. He knew the CEO of everyone, even though he's never met them, but he's friends with them on social media everywhere: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. He's just hyper connected to them. And he's the one introducing me. Hello, buddy, how's it going? Rehan is here from Pakistan. Can you make some time to meet him? So it's like so weird, that connection takes forever to make, and it's very expensive to create a connection. People don't understand how important is it to network. And the reason do people do business is people think they have a service. No, people like someone, and then you do business with them. And most people, nobody teaches that in school. I have never read a marketing book or a business book. I have seen thousands of hours of videos and content, and it never said you have to like the customer or your customer has to like you in order for them to make a transaction. You have to make them friends before you actually do business with them, especially long-term business or a partnership. So the person who was my mentor and friend, Suzanne, you don't know her, maybe, Suzanne Slay. She used to live in Florida. I became friends with her, and then we became partners. She helped me start a business in the US. um, it would have never happened if we were not friends. So first is friendship, I think, then business comes. Whereas, the normal Harvard people would not do it that way, I think.
Yeah, I can come in there. I think for most people, you said earlier that you were denied visa 27 times. And I think for most people here in the Western world, and I think now maybe around the world in total, it's a like internet is not for real. Now, after the pandemic, I'm sure most people say it's real. At least relations online lead to real consequences. But now people take it more serious because people work remote or online or whatever we call it, and it seems to work in many aspects. Not all, but in many aspects, yeah, it makes things easier basically to organize all these activities. And I think you were a bit forced there in the beginning to use what you had, the technology to make business or to connect with this woman in the US, and so you had a early, you can say early advantage there of getting to know how it worked long time before it was common in other places. But also we have these other concepts that I told you a little bit. So you discussed or told a little bit about the connecting part, why it's important to learn to get to know another person. But we also have these two other concepts that comes later into the development of your school, the Rehan school, and that's the Vala. What is the Vala concept? And for people who don't know what is Vala, maybe you can say something around that also.
So you can see a Wala in my name. My last name is Allahwala. Allah means God, and Wala means a person belonging to God. In English vocabulary, you have goldsmith, you have brownsmith. A goldsmith is a person who is a gold worker, a person who is in the business of gold. So similarly, in my family, people who had a business of clothes, they became clotheswala. People who had business of of crockery, they became crockerywala. People who had business of pen, they became penwala. And there are a few famous families from India, Pakistan, who have this wala very common. And those are Gujarati families, Bohri families, Deliwala families. These families, these tribes, took the name of the business because, say, for example, Bert is a common name or Michael is a common name in Sweden. Now, every fourth person or fifth person is Michael. So, which Michael are we going to call? You're going to call the Michael who is doing the water business, or he is the chef, or he is the social media consultant, or whatever, right? So the Vala concept basically, initially, when in my family, it was to do with what business you're doing. But in our school, there's this concept that you are young and you have the next 4 years to solve a big problem of the world. What problem is closest to you? So we inquire them, if you get the lamp of Aladdin, what are the three wishes you will ask? If you get $1 million, what would you do? How would you spend your life if you had only 1 week to live? So we try to get out of them, like the Japanese concept is what's that word?
Ikigai.
Ikigai, exactly. So if we find their ikigai and then we put their ikigai, so for example, Bert-Ola should, his last name is so hard I can never remember it. So I would rename you Bert-Ola, either Swedenwala or Bert-Ola social entrepreneurship wala or systems entrepreneurship wala. That means that if somebody Googles system entrepreneurship on the planet, the first name which will come is yours. It doesn't matter what Bergstrand means. It now Bergstrand might be your family name or some business your family was doing, but now you are more associated to system entrepreneurship. So your last name should be system entrepreneurship wala. Michael Cillian should be future wala. So or Captain Future, for example. So nobody's going to look for Captain Future in journal. They would say Future Wala or Future, and then if his name comes first, automatically he's the front row guy in a huge super mall. He's on a supermarket or on a mall. The first shop gets most customers. So this is the Vala concept, that we have so many problems in the world. Say we have so many problems in Pakistan. So instead of trying to solve all problems, you have to become specialist of one thing. You are going to solve a particular problem. What problem is that? We think your ikigai is water. We think your ikigai is solar. So next 4 years, you're going to just work on solar, and your name is Solarwala. You're going to wear a badge. My name is Imran Solarwala, and this is what I'm working on. Because all another problem in Pakistan, everyone's name is either Muhammad or Khan or Ahmed. So my proper name used to be Rehan Ahmed. And one of the reasons I got denied 27 times visas is some Rehan Ahmed did some hanky panky and he was denied visa. And because of his name, I also got denied visa. So how weird is that, right? In a world where there is no databases to compare names, it becomes, oh, Mr. Rehan Ahmed, he's the one who's wanted. Don't give him visa. So I changed my name on the passport after that because, and since then I've never been denied a visa. So if you have 100 Muhammad, if you go on Facebook today, you would find Imran Khan, at least 1 million Imran Khans, because there are 1.5 billion humans, Muslims, and a billion and a half Indians and Pakistanis. So you will find at least 1 million Imran Khan, 1 million Imran Ahmad, 1 million or 5 million Muhammad Khan Imran. How would you identify which Imran are we looking for? We can never find them. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. So when you have a name, it just makes it easier for you. And but in our school, it's like you have to watch one TEDx or one video a day and make one video a day on your problem which you want to solve. So for example, Mazhar Bhatti here, um, his last name right now is Bhatti, right? So Bhatti is a family, but I would change him to Eventswala. Now he would increase his business by 25% at least just by changing his last name to Mazhar Eventswala, because oh, you're an events business. You might have seen that badge, I help you make slim, ask me how. And that's what basically this name is, that you are instantly recognized for what you do. You go in a big conference. If I am in a 4,000 people event, I have a badge which says, I work on education, ask me how. People will stop me and say, hey, tell me what you do in education. So if in Catapult I'm there are 500 people, everybody should have a badge says, this is what I'm working on. Instead of what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? It's they just most people don't even know how to introduce themselves. And what are they looking for? So if there was a single $1 badge saying my interest is in education, and that's it, everybody would just go to that color badge and then look for them, and there's instant communication happening right there, for example.
That's awesome. And what have you seen in the school since you started to introduce this Vala concept? It seems to me that most of the students there, at least a long list of people that I'm connected with now, they have a Vala. They have some of them have a bit the same passion or the same Vala, but is it difficult for them to find the Vala they want to be, the type of Vala, or is it no, I want to be in solar, or I want to be in education, or I want to be in water, or we even have this popcorn Vala, which is pretty funny. So and
Chai
it
wala.
comes up, yeah, it pops up in my name, of course, popcorn Vala. So this is what you want to be.
So when I introduced these concepts to the principal and the to teachers, they didn't really understand. They were just following orders, and they just gave the name to 6 students. I asked them to make 3 each. They, instead of that, they just gave it to 6. So everybody just became forest wala. Everybody just became water wala. So initially, they just took that name because their teacher suggested them, and the teacher didn't really understand what's happening. Now, a year later, they understand a little bit what's happening, but they're still reluctant. The teachers are still reluctant to change their own name because they don't really understand what's happening. they're not taking the time to understand. And even if they understand, we are not we're not living in a country where you are an individual. You are a whole family of 50 people to 100 people. If you do a wedding in Pakistan, if you're a poor person, 400 people have to come to the wedding or there is no wedding. So it's not an individualistic country, it's the whole tribe which goes around you. So if you change your name on Facebook, you will have to go home and explain to your father, your mother, your whole family, your cousin, your auntie, everybody's after you. And that's the biggest challenge, which one of the biggest challenges I have to uh, fix it, and I've been fixing all my life, is I teach something to people for 4 hours and brainwash them or wash their brain. They go home and then they learn exactly the same thing again from their parents and their family. So every work I do is unlearned automatically. So I stopped teaching them. I told you I don't even talk to anyone who doesn't add my 200 friends, because my friends, by adding my friends, they're changing 0.1% at a time, not 20% at a time. And that 0.1% is like a small little, that's how the rivers are made, right? One small drop at a time. And that's what is happening with the 500 mutual friends. That's why it's so powerful. That's why it's so important for all the students and the teachers to do it, because if they don't do it, they don't really understand what on earth is going on. They can't. To me, I'm speaking to them, I'm speaking like Russian or Japanese or Swedish or whatever. They don't really understand. They nod their head, but they're not really getting it. And if we are in a social setting and there are 100 people and you ask one person to understand, and the person who's the speaker says, do you understand? 99% of the time person says, yeah, I understand, even though he doesn't understand, because it's a social setting. So in our country's social setting, even if they don't understand, they just say yes, okay, no, I understand. So that's why it's not their really passion. But Pakistan, and again, it's a poor area. So the girls get married to the person who their father tells them to get married, not the person those select. So these kids just took the name because their parents, or their teachers suggested them, not because they wanted to. A few students, when this year started, I have one student who just said, I don't care. I want to be a cyber wala. I want to be a cyber hacker. We tried to pursue him. He's like, no, I'm not going to be anything else. I'm going to be cyber wala. So he stuck with it. And then there was another cyber wala, and then there was another person. So now they are understanding what's happening. So the first lot didn't really understand. They were just following. And the second lot is understanding what's exactly happening. For example, Anand stayed at the school for some time, and I kept suggesting him, change your name, focus on Taylor's Bar. It took him 4 years to change his name, and that's a lot of time. Even though he understood it, but the social norms don't allow you to do things which you want to do. That's the problem in our country. In your country, the daughter has already got a boyfriend, and then she tells the parents. In our country, the daughter can't even think of a boyfriend before telling to the parents. It's totally different. It's like a different planet. And that's why I would love for you to come and spend some time more often, because it's just different. It's just Sweden
But I
120
think
years
the
ago.
behavior changes. It has similarities wherever you are on the planet. We have different norms. It's super hard here also to, in certain occasions, to shift norms and behaviors there. But so it's very interesting there. Uh, but also there are other aspects. Before we go into the fifth element, as I say, this ministry of something in the government. Also, I see when I look at your videos that you also build what we say the wisdom aspect of the school. For me, if you compare wisdom with knowledge, the wisdom is more the human touch, the creation of something, empathy, how you are as a person, or like that. That's the wisdom part, and it seems to me that you eat together there. At least I don't know if it's every day, but you socialize, you build community there. It's not only to earn money and to get good in some different skills. It's also to be a human person. Can you speak about that? Is that something you try to do consciously? You have flowers inside there. You try to build a setting there in the school as well, the human touch of it.
So I don't think anybody can actually earn money without being a good human being. I think your good karma will not trigger until you are punctual. Like, you today we were talking and I was 5 minutes late, and I could see that you had this anxiety attack because people are waiting. And that and I have the same problem, but in our culture, if you're on time, other person have anxiety attack. Why are you so early? Well, you gave me time, so I'm here. So it's the cultural norm to be late. So I in my school, of course, I have a big problem with discipline. So I try to send the children back to school, back to home if they don't come on time. I want them to be hygienic. I want to do again the Japanese thing, which where they wash toilets and clean the place. So that one also we're trying to impose, but that's again a big cultural problem that the teachers and the principal and the students don't want to touch the toilet to clean it. They want a third party to come in and clean it. So I am trying to raise these children as if they were my own children, as if I would teach my own kids. So I did everything I'm doing at the school. I did even less for my own kids. And I believe that in that quotation where it says it takes a village to raise a child. So I create the opportunities for these kids to interact with different kinds of people so they become the right kind of human being and who is good human being. I was listening to one of the teachers today. When he came to me, his goal was to earn 1 billion rupees, and now his goal is to serve humanity. That took a year and a half. That's a huge turnaround for a mindset of an older person. So I think, of course, we are trying to instigate good human values inside them, which includes cleanliness, hygiene, love with the plants, plantation, tree plantation, eating together, cooking together, uh, all these best practices which I see anywhere in the world. I try to a movie night every Saturday is a movie night. So we try to bring everything together. We have a parents room where we have a TV where parents can come and watch movies because they don't have a big screen TV at their home. So the parents can come and actually there are a list of movies which we want them to see, to understand this. Then for 2 months we actually played Star Trek at the school. Every day they had to watch Star Trek for 1 hour because they've never watched Star Trek in their life. They couldn't really understand what I'm talking about. So they had to watch Star Trek. And if the whole school was after me, why are we watching TV at school? Why, what is going on? So, but they would never watch Star Trek on their own. They will watch Indian movies or Indian content or Pakistani content, but they would never watch Star Trek. So I wanted them to understand what future might look like. So it's important for me for them to watch Star Trek. So all this has been tried, but right now we're just focused on, because if I could solve this money problem for them, it will flip the whole school system, just like Khan Academy flipped the whole school system by giving the content, video online. I think we can turn around the whole school system around, because now the school helps the child to earn. And that in the third world countries it's a huge problem, in the underdeveloped countries it's a huge problem. We don't have money to, how much. I was just asking my principal, how much on average does a teacher gets a month in salary. He's told me it's anywhere from $10 a month to $50 a month. It's not a lot of money. You can't do anything with that kind of money. So I want to fix that. I wanted to the teacher, the best teacher, to get the most money, to be good facilitator. And it won't happen till the school has money. There are, I don't know, maybe 500,000 schools in Pakistan, private schools, and they are paid by the parent to have the child study. And if the parent doesn't have money, then they can't afford to send the children to the school. So I want to flip that. I want the child to study for free because now he's earning for himself, his parents, and the school. And that will change. It's a model will flip. It's something which you will not need in Sweden or Finland or the US. Governments have huge budget for education. We don't. Our government has point something percent in education and 40% to the army. It's a different priority. So we need to solve this issue.
Yeah, so let's go maybe to the fifth element to this idea you had started a few, maybe 2-3 years back, maybe it's longer time. The latest iteration of the school, the ministry part, to become a shadow ministry of something in the school. So what's the idea around that, and can you tell a bit about that?
Okay, so around 2 years ago, um, you believe in nudging a lot. So I started to nudge this whole political system of the planet. If you look at the world, we had Donald Trump, we have Joe Biden, people are not happy. Where are good politicians? Who is going to produce good politicians? So I like this idea since I heard about it 15 years ago of a shadow government, where the shadow government in the UK, there is an official shadow government, and they suggest to the sitting parliament on certain things. So I designed a whole shadow government for a political party. I tried to run it for them for 2 years, and they didn't do anything with it. So then I created a political party 3 years ago, and I said, you know what, we need new leaders. So we will train you. We will not run in elections, but we will create a whole government, which is a shadow government. And as a shadow government, as a shadow minister, we will make a minister for everything which we think we need to make a minister of, which somebody is passionate about. If you're passionate about systems entrepreneurship, so you will be shadow minister for systems entrepreneurship. And as a shadow minister, your job is the same: connect, communicate, and nudge. So, as a shadow minister, you have to find similar people then like yourself and do an interview with them, like we're doing twice a week. And then every 3 months, you do an online seminar, collect all your friends together, and for 4 hours, you do a conference on that ministry. And after the conference, you take the minute and publish it on your website. And that's it. That way, you are now connected to the world's best minds in your network, in your topic, and you're publishing whatever is the best practice. And you can also advise to other people on that. So, since we already have Forest-Wala, so I requested our master trainer to go and announce the students to become ministers, minister, but on a school level. And now, as a shadow minister of forest, for example, they have to find a person who is into forest, which they're already doing, and then interview them, and then hold a conference every 3 months and just connect them together, just like Catapult does every year. Similarly, it's free, it's online, it's only for selected people, but anybody can watch it online. So this way, if they work on the subject for 4 years, they will become a lighthouse. People will come to them, ask them questions about their ministry, and they can write to a minister of forest or ex-minister of forest in Sweden or Zimbabwe or Liberia. And they're not just a seventh grade student. They can say, I am a shadow minister in this school of this subject, and I would like to be introduced to this. So it gives you a framework to connect to people. It gives you a reason to connect to people. And normally people won't connect, but if you go to a restaurant, they would connect to a waiter or a restaurant manager and place their order, right? They would connect and, hello, how are you? I would like to see the menu. So they connect. They have a reason to connect. We have to give more reason for people to connect because they don't want to connect. Nobody wants to connect anymore. Nobody has time to connect. So we have to give them a storyline to connect. That's what the ministers are.
Yeah, and some new aspects there I hadn't thought about, so it was great interview. So I think the first, just to summarize, the first elements there, the Rehan 500, learning to communicate, to start to make, I think it's 20 interviews you make in the school, they should make 20 interviews, and to put up the content on YouTube channels and other channels. That's very much focused on the individual or two people. But the Vala concept, that's very much, as I see it, focusing on the internal development of yourself, the passion you have. Here, it's a lot of focus now on the inner development goals, but I think this Vala is a bit a combination of that plus Ikigai. So it's some sort of the Pakistani version of that. And the fifth element here, the ministry of the school, it's a way to build a small hub, a small cluster to start to become a facilitator of a community. So that is the element you learn in the school with this. In addition then to this human aspect, the wisdom aspect of the school. Earlier today, we also spoke about how do you transform a country like Pakistan from where it is now to some kind of modern society where things are thriving, it's better for people and like that. That's understand what you see as a good society. So how do you see the connection with what you are doing in the school now with transformation of society, the theory of change, if you sort of say?
So, I started reading more Buddhist stuff and other religious stuff, and it says, "Don't worry about the fruits, just keep your work." So, like an artist, I keep doing right now. I don't know how the impact will be. I also don't know how the world will look like in 5 years because I think the singularity is here. Because of AI, we really can't imagine how the world will look like in 5 years or 10 years. The speed of growth is just unbelievable. I was just watching yesterday what Microsoft has done to Windows, and it's just an AI box, and you can just ask it to design logos and design a flyer and just send it to the team and just chit chat. I mean, it's unbelievable. In 6 months, Microsoft is just regaining everything. So it's amazing. And I don't see how the world will look like. I believe very, very strongly that the world will not look like the way it looks like right now in 5 to 10 years. And we will become more and more and more interconnected species. We will become more and more interconnected humanity because of VR, metaverses, uh, growing of bandwidth, Starlink. So many reasons are there to for the humanity to not look like the same. If we just look back 7 years, there was no WhatsApp. If we look back 5 years, there was no Facebook Live. If we look back 17 years, there was no Facebook. So if the humanity can change so much in the last 15, 17 years, um, I, I don't know what the world will look like. Imagine ChatGPT 5 comes like next year, which knows every video out there, which knows every image out there. It's going to be very different. So for now, I'm just relaxing and just focusing on the emotional intelligence part of the school and the kids. Yeah, the virtual thing. I would strongly recommend you to watch my video on Rehan's metaverse. I created that. Yeah, I will read that. But basically, the 500 experiment was like creating a new virtual world. I created a small metaverse of my friends who are interacting and connecting and seeing the world in a different way. And that's what I think the metaverse is. You create your own verse. Meta is like many, many verses, right? So we all are going to create our new verses. We don't know how the world will look like. I just hope that it will, uh, I think it will be better than what it is. And humanity is just going on a different curve. I believe that 2023 is beginning of a new humanity altogether. Having so much knowledge in our hand, instantly available, a super brain, a PhD in everything in our hand, all the time available. It's just we don't even know how to use it. We're not even using it. We're like scared to use it sometimes. We're like, I'm scared to use it because it will start giving me things, solutions, because and I don't want solutions. Most of the time we don't want solutions, right? People like, oh, I want to do this. And if you tell them, they don't really do anything because they don't really want to. They're just moaning about it. Some of them do, but most of us don't like change. So I think that the whole world is changing very rapidly, and I'm very hopeful that in the last 3 years, Pakistan has changed from 20 million smartphones to 150 million smartphones. That's a huge change altogether. It's like 5 or 7 new countries of Pakistan has been born online. TikTok users, YouTube users, Facebook users. So all these users are going to come online and start creating disruption and do their own thing. Right now, they are in a very early stage and they don't really understand what the world was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They're just coming on the internet and it's like a nursery school right now. So just like the OpenAI guys say, we just wanted to introduce this ChatGPT so people can see what's coming. And I think it's just a start. That more and more people will take advantage of this, I hope, and we can create a better world for everyone. I don't know. I think the world of abundance is coming. It's one of the most exciting times I could be, living in, or you could be living in, because now we have literally superpowers. You can ask anything from ChatGPT, and it just does it. It's not even Google. It's faster than Google. It's just incredible. And I can't wait for ChatGPT 5 and 6 and 7. Like Bert-Ola will just appear next to me. Hey, where did you come from? It's like the new sciences will come because of this. The new money will come because of this. Um, it's just amazing. The problem which you can help me and Michael can help me and your friends can help me is that my students and their teachers and their parents, all three don't believe in what I'm doing. They're just doing because I'm telling them to do. And when you don't believe in something, you don't follow 100%. You follow like 5%, 10%, 20%. And the speed is so slow that it's frustrating for the leader, for the person who's guiding. So if you tell me, here is 5 pills, you have cancer, go eat 5 of them. And you take the 4 and throw them in the garbage and just eat one. And then you come next week and say, you gave me the pills, but it's not working. Well, you throw away the 4 pills, how are they going to work? So this is what is happening. I tell them to do 5 things, they just do one, and they come back and they say it's not working. So what the best help you can do is just make friends with my students, unfriend all the people who are not talking to you or they don't give value to you from Pakistan. But you can friend people like this Manahio. She's incredible. Her mother is incredible, and they have self doubt. I think Carla's coming to Pakistan is incredible. Carla staying at the school is incredible. I think that alone is so intense for these students and the teachers and everyone that there's a white person, there's an American in our school. Well, they don't even know how to react to all this. So it's just they can't compute it. It's like ChatGPT showing up on your face. So Carla's presence, just her presence in our school, is a phenomena itself. And I hope you will come soon. Your new bedroom is ready over there. Um, uh, your friends can come. It's very interesting stuff which is happening. And I was just thinking today, and I was telling someone that my father took 5 years to make our house, and my school is only 7 months old, and I'm worried about it. So I think I need to just calm down, chill, and give it 2 more years. And I'm very excited about the whole concept because if I did this 20 years ago, I think the whole country would have been different country because we would have had many, many small little Rehans and Bert-Olas going around without making babies, just the philosophy wise. The Because Suzanne would have had, hundreds of students already. Like I am her student, so if she were teaching hundreds, it would be imagined so how many. So if you can adopt 5 students, I can make them system entrepreneur wala, and they are your students, and you have to talk to them 4 hours a week. If you don't talk to them, we throw you out as a teacher or whatever, a mentor. If you just talk to them once, or 4 hours a week, 4 times a week, they will start understanding you. And not everybody will understand you, but 3 out of 10 will understand you. 3 out of 10 will start following you. And these are students, they want to learn. They are young minds. They don't have you don't have to unlearn anything from them, and they're just amazing. Like, I would request you and Cillian to take these kids. You will really enjoy talking to them. First week, 2 weeks, they will not understand what you're saying, but it's like small little children. You had a son, so when he was small, you just give them love. You don't try to explain them anything, right? They cry, you give them a toffee. They go dirty, you clean them, and that's it. But after some time, I think Per, for example, can join, and Mitta or whoever wants to join in, they can adapt 1, 2, 3 students and just talk to them, be their friends. And once they're their friends, I think these kids are so amazing. It's unbelievable how smart they are. The boy, the Cyberwala kid, he made his own chat GPT after chat GPT. He using Hugging Face, which I did not know what a Hugging Face is. I was like, this looks like a pirate website. It turned out it's not a pirate website. It's a huge $2 billion platform. I did not know that. He knew it. So you just have to interact. You just talk to these kids, and that's the best thing you can do. I was asking for all the people before the same thing. Talk to my friends, right? And now I'm not saying talk to my friends anymore. I'm just saying I have only got 40 students. And out of those 40 students, you have to physically talk to them, like Zoom or StreamYard 4 times a week. I have the whole facility now. They have computers, they have the internet, we have solar. The whole school is on solar. I'm bleeding through my nose for money on this. I have fantastic facilitators who push them to take away their shyness and talk to them. So if you can just talk to them, they will become like mini Bertolas and do stuff for you. And they will listen more than your own son. That's the fun part. My kids don't listen to me as much as these students do. So they'll be great. I think it's a very interesting project for me also.
Yeah, and it's evolving. It's, of course, we went into many different elements here over the last 12 years of starting to connect, starting to communicate, starting to find your inner passion, the Vala role, the ministry of school. So there are many aspects here, from individual to taking sort of a leadership role in building community. I also hear, I was curious there of how you looked at the transformation on society. And there's a guy out there, I think Michael Cillian is following this, so maybe he can find the podcast between Jim Rutt and David Snowden. And David Snowden, he speaks about in that pod that what we can do is to find the adjacent possible. So you analyze where you are as an individual or a team or an organization, and then it takes one step forward in the direction where it's possible. So it's not a long vision, 10 years ahead. Maybe I want to go there, but take next step in a direction to something and cultivate the skills, the inner passion and everything this on the road to take these steps. And I think you're doing this in a very brilliant way in the school. And also that you can see that in the video you made about the school 2 months back. Maybe you can share that, the English video, that the students are not allowed sounds a bit harsh, but to ask the teacher until they have asked chat gpt or alexis or something first. So first try to find out the answer on your question and then ask the teacher in the classroom. So that's a bit the same as Sugatra Mitra, the hole in the wall school. So I see you have that element in your design in the Rehan school. So some parts are coming from Sugatra Mitra and other big names that you have out there, but you have also elaborated into a technology-wise setting and building in this community aspect as well. Another thing there, you're not so patient, you say.
You
What?
want me to play the video?
Yeah, you can share it in the link to this so people can see it,
Okay. You
because it
want me to
says
play
something
it
about the
now?
school. Wait, I was also curious, sometimes it takes time to learn something. You need perseverance, you need patience. That's also an important aspect of learning. So how do you teach that? How do you teach people to become really good in what they want to work on?
I don't have answer to everything. I think I have to learn that myself first because I come from an IT background, and in IT world, everything happens just very quickly. Actually, I was just as I said, I was just realizing this today myself that I have to be more patient with the whole project. It's going to take, no, not 3 years, maybe 7 years, maybe 10 years. We don't know how much time it will take to actually give results. Um, and I think that if I don't give up, the followers will also not give up. The moment I give up, a lot of people will give up. So I have to learn this myself and then keep doing it and show it by doing it rather than telling something. I would just keep on doing it because I haven't given up so far. It's 13 years on when I said I will start to work on, ending poverty. And since then, I have a few really good people who are like Popcorn Wala, for example. He was literally a popcorn wala, and he used to sell popcorn, and his business died in COVID. And then I announced last year that everybody should start learning Canva and start doing freelancing using Fiverr. And then he learned that. He went to another teacher, and then he started making content. And then I suggested to start teaching what you just learned. Just teach people, charge $1 and teach basic Canva for 2 hours and do it on a Zoom. So if you teach 10 people a day, you make $10. That's $300 already a month. That's good money for you. So he started doing that. Now he's earning $800 a month approximately already in 1 year's time, which is good. And he has a few teachers working for him, and he has made it his mission to create at least 10,000 schools, so that, because most people don't even know what digital freelancing is, or how to work online, because most people have never left the country. Most people don't know what's outside Pakistan. It's a very, the reason I mentioned visa rejection is that even if you have money, you cannot travel. It's not like a Swedish case. You sit in a train and just go for $10 and go to Oslo or go to London or go to Turkey for $10-$20. It doesn't work that way because we can't go even if we have the money to go. That is why there are so many people who die every year trying to smuggle themselves. Turkey Wala, for example, I don't know if you have interacted with him. He I named him Turkey Wala because he walked from Lahore to Istanbul. He walked. He went illegally over there. So he has been him on his shoes to see. It's very hard to see how can somebody have some kind of this kind of perseverance without any passport, without anything, illegally. And hundreds and thousands of people are doing it every day, um, which is sad, right? And it's what, for money? They risk their life just for a little bit of money. How much money they will earn when they go outside? They can easily earn that here if they just change their mindset. And I have this saying in Urdu. It doesn't. It's we I call Pakistan "Khama khai ka gharib mulk." It's absolutely no reason for Pakistan to be a poor country. It's a country with ocean and plus 50 degrees and minus 50 degrees at the same time. It's a country with one of the tallest mountain in the world and the lowest mountain. We have volcanoes, we have gardens, we have all kind of weather at the same time. It's a very, very blessed country and 250 million smart human beings. We're just not taking advantage of it. We have 5 rivers, we have land, everything. We just, you guys don't have sun. We have sun all the time. We can just put up solar panels and give free electricity to the whole country. It will work. We're just not doing a lot of things. We can. Um, so I've totally forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's what we're approaching the end, I think, of today's interview. We're already 1 hour, 50 minutes now. But it was great following up. We do these small chats from time to time. I think it's maybe the 10th, something like that. So it's interesting to see the evolution of your idea there of how to, because the biggest idea is to transform Pakistan to a modern nation or a flourishing nation or a good society. I think that summarizes your passion and your big effort here on the ground.
It's like, it gives me pain to see the whole nation as a country, 200 plus million people suffer for absolutely ridiculous reason. There's no reason for us to be poor. If there was reason, oh, we don't have this or we don't have this, it would make sense. I would say, okay, fine. But when I travel, when we were traveling together, when we were traveling, when I travel from Karachi to Islamabad, I see empty lands, running water, a lot of sun, and people sitting both sides of the water doing nothing. So, what if they were just taking the water on the sand and making some money out of it? Growing something on it. It's just that we have to connect these people together, build a trust body around them, so the people who own the land and the people who are out of jobs can actually do something together to make a better living. Imagine a computer scientist living in Pakistan and earning $300 a month. If he just searches and makes new friends in Sweden and London and New York, he can earn $10,000 a month for absolutely doing exactly the same thing. Why isn't he doing it? It's just because he doesn't have friends in those countries. And because he doesn't have friends, he doesn't believe it. And because he doesn't believe it, he doesn't try it. It's a weird circle. And because I have traveled so much, I have these amazing friends, I have seen them earn and learn and have a good life. It gives me pain to see the people around me not being able to earn for absolutely stupid reasons. Absolutely stupid reason. I mean, what else could I say? Well, stupid is not the right word, right? Less informed reason. They're just less informed for that. So uh, it just hurts me. So I wanted this pain to stop.
Yeah, it was amazing conversations. So let's continue in the weeks and months to come, and hope to see you soon. So beautiful forest behind you. No birds there.
No birds. It's all virtual metaphors.
That's what you will see in this book also. I can recommend it. Virtual Society with Herman Narula, The Metaverse and the New Frontiers of Human Experience. And
Yeah, I
they
will
go
find
from
it.
everything of the ancient metaverses. You have been there in Turkey, in Eastern Anatolia, the Göbekli Tepe. So like build a fantastic place. I haven't been there myself, but it's like, yeah, maybe you can speak about that place, but an amazing place built 10, 12, 15,000 years back, 5,000 years before Stone Age in UK.
Yeah.
So I can, okay, I think that's fine
Yeah, I
for
just
today.
found the book. It's 7 hours long. I just bought it
Great.
on Amazon.
Okay, nice speaking to you. See you soon and have a great time. All of you are
Thank.
following, by the way.
And I need more teachers. That's what I was actually asking.
Mm.
That I need more. It's not teachers. It's just friends.
Yeah, yeah, great.
Like they could just talk, but they have to be different
Mm.
than normal, right? They have to be from another country. Like you have all the network in the world. So I want you to help first
Mm.
yourself. Take 4 of my students and just talk to them.
Mm. I
Um,
will.
for 4 hours a week or something, and
Mm.
just give them work or talk about life or talk about metaverse or talk about future. Michael can just talk about why his hair looks the way he does. It could be anything.
Mm.
And just to have them a friend who doesn't look like them, who doesn't has the same values like them, but they have to learn to respect them the same way. That's what is, I think, needed right now for the students of my school. And it took me a few months to get it up and running to this stage where they're ready to actually interact. And is right now I only have 4 or 5 students who are ready to talk. Others are not still ready to talk. The teachers are not ready to talk. It's just they're just scared or fearful or whatever the reason is. But this woman is such an inspiration. This is mother of Manahil, and this other girl, Manahil, her daughter. She has 4 children coming to our school, and she said, "I don't care if my children don't graduate. I don't care about anything. I just want you to just treat them like you taught your own children, and I trust you and do this." Then there was another woman. This is a very nice story and very sad story at the same time. She migrated from Faisalabad, which is 2 hours away from Lahore, and she just came with her 4 children, and she just took a house next to the school, and she said, "I want you to take my children and take admission." We took admission, and I met her, and I asked her, why do you trust me to bring your children to this school, and how much what percent change do you expect? What do you expect from me? She said, "I don't expect anything, but the life I have lived in my life, I don't want my children to live, and this is the life I lived. When I was young, my parents forced me to go to school. Then they forced me to get higher education. Then they forced me to get married to a guy. Then they forced me to get children. And then they said, okay, now you're independent. You can do what you want with your life." And I'm like, what is this life? This is so weird. And why should I take care of these children? Where is my life? Where did my life go? And she said, "I want my children to be out of this cycle. I'm bringing them here. I want you to make my children independent enough so they can do what they want rather than what I want for them." And her husband lives in another country. She hasn't seen her husband for 6 years. So she fought the whole village. She left her village. She has a master's degree, I think. And she just came to Karachi just for the school. And it's not a very attractive space where the school is. And she still came. And it made me cry because now there is so much responsibility on my head of this woman and her children, and I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? So so it's overwhelming at the same time. And I tell her, you're like a tractor. You don't let anybody be in front of you. You just smacks them, and you just go forward with your way. You are the person we need over here. You need to become one of our facilitators over here. So it's interesting. It just makes me sad that I didn't do this 20 years ago. And I don't think I could have done it 20 years ago. I didn't go through all this journey and all these learning, and so that I can now give this to the students. But I think I could have done real impact on the economy, on the country, if was this kind of weird school around who could just transform them. And I hope that it goes around for a while. And I hope anybody who likes it, just it's open source. Come and copy whatever you like and just use it. Call it your own, no problem. As long as these kids are in a good hand, we're happy with that. So, yeah.
Great. Yeah. So let's follow up in some days, and have a great evening where you are.
Thank you. See you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. So what I will do is I will also play the video which Bert-Ola was asking for, so that anybody of you who wants to see it can see it. And then if you like it, you can. So it's around 6 minutes long, and you can watch it later or now or however you want. But here's the video.
Take you to a school in Karachi where children are being educated according to the new era.
Good morning, kids. I hope you are having a wonderful day.
Whose voice is this? Where's the teacher? Friends, Rehan School is the first school in Pakistan where these devices are the teacher to kids. Their names are Alexa, ChatGPT, and Google Voice Assistant. Meet these AI teachers of Rehan School who are helping students in subjects including English, Urdu, maths, history, and science. With school teachers, these devices like Alexa, ChatGPT, and Google Voice Assistant are playing their part in giving education to school kids. Rehan School AI hasn't replaced teachers, rather it has made it easy for them to teach. Kids at Rehan School are taking full advantage of Rehan School AI. Rehan Allahwala is the man behind introducing Rehan School AI, who is working as a mentor at Rehan School. Rehan Allahwala says that learning AI for school kids is the need of the hour.
Since its arrival in February 2023, artificial intelligence has become important. All students will have to live with it. When they will grow up, AI would be even bigger. If we do not use these tools today, we will be left behind. So, it is important for every student to not only know basic AI but know how to use it. Before asking a question, before talking to someone, or before asking someone else anything, a student must ask an AI question and try to understand by themselves.
Since the internet became common, today's kids get answers by asking questions on Google. Kids at Rehan School are comfortable using Rehan School AI. Rehan Allahwala believes that kids should be made prompt engineers from school days. Today, prompt engineer is the most in-demand engineering field.
Alexa is an extremely good device with which you can ask questions many times in your class, but this device is 7 years old now. To date, as we are in February 2023, the smartest AI we have is from OpenAI. Google Assistant is important to use since it is built in into every Android phone. So, the thing you need to learn is that technology will constantly change and will change completely after every 3 years. So, right now, whatever things you have access to, identify what is important for you to learn from. Do focus and become an expert in it. No need to learn everything. However, basic assistants like Google Assistant, Alexa, ChatGPT, or even Microsoft AI. It is important to use these devices, especially use the ones you are more comfortable with.
Alexa, how dinosaur disappeared from Earth?
From youngzine.org. Dinosaurs dominated life on Earth for many millions of years before they were wiped out when an asteroid struck the Earth.
There's a saying by Socrates, asking questions is the key to unlocking wisdom and understanding. ChatGPT is an advanced language model that is able to understand human language and respond the same way. With the assistance of teachers, children at Rehan School are also using ChatGPT. Altaf Education Wala is the principal of Rehan School. He is proud of the fact that Rehan School is leading in introducing AI among school kids.
One thing that gives Rehan School an edge over other schools is that Rehan School is Pakistan's first and unique school where kids are encouraged to use AI. Students are appreciated to use Google Voice Assistant, Alexa, TED Talk, YouTube, and ChatGPT to get the best answers.
Teachers are also happy for inculcating AI in Rehan School because AI is proving to be very helpful in teaching school kids.
Having Rehan School AI has created ease for teachers. It has helped in understanding kids and helped clear concepts in their minds. It is easy for us to answer interesting questions from kids.
It is true that intelligence is artificial, however, information and knowledge are 100% correct. With the teacher and Rehan School AI collaborative learning model, teaching sets new standards.
With Alexa and Google Voice Assistant, it is now easy for us to ask questions. With the help of teachers, we ask questions to these devices to clear our concepts.
It is too early to say whether AI will also replace teachers, but for now, these AI tools have become an amazing resource in teaching kids. Audiovisual learning plus ChatGPT intelligence is a unique experience for both students and teachers, and a revolutionary step by Rehan School in teaching the best education to school kids.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. I would be very happy to give more interviews in Urdu and in English language. The reason for that is it helps me clear my own understanding and my own thoughts. The only request I have is before you ask questions, please study our project. Go to rehanschool.net, watch videos at least an hour long to understand what we're doing. If you just randomly ask for interviews, I would not be able to give you time for that. But there's so much information out there. You can watch it online and inbox me if you can't find the videos. I'll be happy to share them with you. Have a wonderful day. In the end, I will put a small little song which a friend of ours made for the school, and I hope you like it. Oops. Where did it go? There you go.
तू पढ़ हाँ पढ़ तू पढ़ हाँ पढ़ अपने रब के नाम से तू पढ़ चल अपने रास्ते तू पढ़ आगे बढ़ने के लिए तू पढ़ अपने ख्वाबों के लिए मुश्किल है ये घड़ी तुझ पे जो आके है पड़ी बस देखो थाम ले हिम्मत से काम ले खुद को पहचान ले तू पढ़ हाँ पढ़ तू पढ़ हाँ पढ़ तू पढ़ हाँ पढ़ अपनी किस्मत को खुद बना अपने जज्बे को खुद जगा